What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Phaithful Phanatics show. As always, I'm one half of your host, Dylan. To my left, the other host, Scotty, on this fine Victory Monday afternoon, night, depending where you are. If you guys are new to the channel, do yourself a favor, do us a favor. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at DSM_media. Check out the link tree in our bio. It will take you to every social media platform we are available on. If you guys want to be interactive throughout tonight's show, like my man D-Rab is already doing in the comments, make sure to check out the YouTube channel specifically. Smash that subscribe button, like the video, share it with your friends, family, any other Eagles or Philly sports fans that you guys know of. We appreciate each and every one of you. The Eagles are on to the divisional round of the NFL postseason after defeating the Green Bay Packers 22-10 yesterday afternoon, Scotty. Mixed reaction nationally, within the city, within this fan base. We're going to discuss it all. It wasn't necessarily pretty, but my God, guys, it's the goddamn playoffs. It doesn't matter. The Eagles won. The Eagles covered. The Eagles doubled the spread, and the Eagles started this game in electric fashion with Oren Burks laying the wood on the opening kickoff and causing a fumble. You couldn't have dialed up a better start. You could not have made 70,000 people who were already on their feet going nuts, amped up for a Super Bowl run. You couldn't possibly imagine them getting any louder. And then that play happened. And then about 3 or 4 plays later, Jahan Dotson finds the end zone for his first touchdown as a Philadelphia Eagle after playing 17 games in the regular season without catching one. What a start. And the Eagles never looked back, man. We got a lot to discuss. The defense was great. It's going to be a fun show for me and you, at least. If you guys have any negative opinions, if you're worried, if you have concerns, throw them in the comments. I'll try not to yell at you today, but we'll see how the show goes.
Brian Bumper, if you're out there. But no, happy Victory Monday. Happy Victory Monday to all the Eagles fans out there. Like Dylan said, a W is a W. I thought at the end of the day, and I said this to Dylan before the show, I'm glad we don't do the post-game show right after the game. Because one, I didn't win any money on the Eagles game yesterday because I should have laid the spread. I didn't lay the spread. I went with, player props and stuff like that. So I was upset anyways, right? Because you had Dotson score a touchdown. You had Goddard score a touchdown. Maybe somebody out there laid Goddard tutty. That's not that bad of a lay or that rare of a lay. But nonetheless, it's rare when you have a game where Jalen Hurts does not score a touchdown rushing. Saquon does not score a touchdown rushing, nonetheless. But I came out of that game, kind of looking sideways at Jalen Hurts, looking sideways at the offense. You take the night, get some rest, maybe let some of that beer wear off from when you were watching the game. You wake up this morning, man. It was Victory Monday, and it all felt the same. It felt just like those other 14 victories, except it was playoff edition, and those come a little bit harder. So I'm grateful to be going to the second round of the postseason. The Green Bay Packers aren't a bad football team. They're a good football team. They were able to get double-digit wins this year. They're a solid football team. That defense is very solid. I'm going to give them a lot of credit here. Jordan Love's a little suspect, but the defense, very solid. The Eagles, man, you talk about coming out and just punching someone in the mouth. I mean, literally came out, socked is it Keyshawn Nixon in the mouth. He wanted targeting.
Dear God.
he wanted targeting.
Dear God.
Oh my God, that's how hard he got hit in the mouth to start the football game. They turned the ball over immediately, and from there, man, Nolan Smith rocks their starting offensive tackle, knocks him out of the game. Jalen Reed, get out of here. Down the list, guys were just falling left and right, and it showed just how physical and how tough this Philadelphia Eagles team is. And quite honestly, when you're playing in Philly, you're going to come and play in this cold weather. I really couldn't ask for too much more.
Yeah.
Too much more.
I agree, man. And let's just start off with that opening kickoff, right? Because that's what jump-started everything. And it really turned this game on its head. Because if you're the Green Bay Packers, all right, you're amped up. Here we go. We're getting the ball. We're about to start. Let's see if we can put points up on the board.
Put the pressure on them,
Not just like that. Boom. You're down 7-0. You know the Eagles are getting the ball to start the second half, and things just never got kicked in the second gear for Green Bay, man. That hit would have been enough, Scotty. Like, you heard the hit on television. I jumped up. I'm going up. I didn't recognize the ball was out at first.
Yeah.
And then I'm paying attention. Then, of course, you got the review. Whatever with the review. I don't know, man. I don't know. We've had calls go against us with indisputable recoveries and evidence and stuff like that. But we come away with the ball. The hit would have been enough. You could not have asked for a more electric, fast start, right? Remember earlier on the year when the Eagles couldn't score first quarter points? Remember how slow we started? And the opening possession in the postseason, everything changes for this team, man.
Yeah.
The touchdown, right? Well, first of all, Saquon's first run as an Eagle in the postseason, bounces it outside, makes two people miss, picks up a first down just like that. Crowd's even more electrified. And then like a play or two later, Jahan Dotson, Jalen Hurts had 9 years back there. That screenshot of that pocket
that was a statement.
Unbelievable.
That was a statement.
Without a doubt.
6-7 seconds back there standing, finding Dotson. That was a statement.
And that was the epitome of this game, right? The opening hit, that the pocket that Jalen had to throw with, this was bully football. You mentioned all the hard hits, and you don't want to see anyone get hurt, but nothing out of the ordinary happened. Nothing was dirty. The Reed Blankenship hit, the Nolan Smith hit on the offensive lineman. I mean, those were textbook by the book. Shoulder, arm, everything like that. So this was a physical game, and that's exactly what the Eagles did, man.
Shout out to Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs met the challenge. He did. He showed up. He played physical. And I think that kind of shows there's a little bit of levels. They were lacking elsewhere because Josh Jacobs showed up in this football game.
To Martian's point, you want to talk about physicality. Dallas Goedert had possibly the angriest of angry runs I've ever seen in my life. And hearing him, seeing the clip today of him saying, like, that one might have been a little too much. Like, there were a couple moments yesterday that were just unbelievable within an ugly-ish game. Like it was far from perfect, especially offensively. So we'll talk about it all. But this game was physical. That was my first and foremost takeaway. And I think it should make sense to everybody because that's what the Eagles did all year long. Yeah. And it wasn't in the same fashion, right? They didn't have they didn't have a 9-minute drive where Saquon carried the ball 8 times on one possession and finished it with a touchdown, or Jalen Tush pushed it. They didn't have anything like that. Nothing too sustainable. But it was smash mouth football. They hit hard. The tackling wasn't great at all times. Obviously, you mentioned that Josh Jacobs run, but man, the Eagles came to play physical football yesterday.
Yeah. You absolutely love to see it. And when I'm looking at that defense specifically to come out and play like that, man, against that unit, and once again, just make a statement, man, to just punch them right in the mouth. You talk about running the football. I can't remember who said it on Twitter. Once again, I'm doing this thing where I don't give somebody credit. But it was not my idea. Let's just say that. If Saquon does not take that knee at the end of the game, the talk around the game is completely different. If he houses that, the talk around the game is completely
which is so stupid different. Because the game's over.
It's done.
Like,
but it would be different.
Oh, for sure. It's the epitome of what we talked about with Detroit all year long, and looking at scores and different things like that and keeping players in and running up the scoreboard. Saquon houses that. I wanted him to house it.
I did too.
Right. If the Eagles finish this game 29-10, you are right. It's looked at way differently. The bottom line is if he houses that, there's 60 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
And all we did was take 2 kneels and the game was over from beyond that point. Yeah. But just because of the scoreboard, it would have been looked at differently. And
save your defense having to.
And I'm glad you bring that point up, man, because this is where I'm at. And I said this to you to start the show. Luckily, I don't see any crazy panicky type of comments yet in the chat, but I've seen complaints. I've seen it nationally, there's talking heads. LaShawn McCoy talking.
That's so lame. He's so lame for that.
Right. Sitting next to Chase Daniel and James Jones, who have and Emmanuel Acho, who have said things all year long. And it's like, guys, we're not talking about week 3. We're not talking about week 15. It's the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't care. I don't care if the Eagles won this game 10-9. It is the playoffs. Survive and advance. Not to mention, they held the Packers to 10 points. Not to mention, they covered. Not to mention, they won by double digits. Like you said, if Saquon doesn't take a knee, they win by 19. But you wouldn't know it because Jalen Hurts didn't have a great, solid game. Maybe he looked rusty to some people. The receivers couldn't get open. Dan Orlovsky's breaking that down. Yeah, the offense needs to be better. Jalen needs to be more consistent. You can't start the game 6 for 6 and then have a 7 or 8 straight incompletion streak and then go 4 for 4. You got to be a little bit more balanced. I didn't love the play calling. I didn't love ignoring Saquon in the first half inside the 25. I didn't love just a couple different things. The screens to Saquon out wide with Smitty being the lead blocker. There's things we can talk about, complain about, and yes, they need to be better if they want to win a Super Bowl and win next week. But what are we doing here, man? It's the postseason. You win and you move on, and they won by 12 points and gave up 10 to an offense that people on pregame shows were saying might score 30 at the link yesterday, Scotty, mind you.
30 at the link against the number 1 defense in the NFL. That's what you call delusional.
Right.
That is what you call delusional, and that was one thing that I did get right on the show yesterday. I was a little off on the offense. The offense didn't come out rolling exactly the way I would love to see it. To your points that you just made there, the only thing with Shady's comments to Martian that I think are asinine and a little snake-like is just questioning his effort. Like,
he's talking about his effort.
You're going to question his effort in a playoff game?
If Kenny Pickett or Tanner McKee play that game, we blow Green Bay out. That's what he said in that clip as well. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And mind you, though, Scotty, you're sitting here talking about the offense, and there are fucking complaints. Don't get it twisted. If Saquon doesn't take a knee, they score 29 points.
30 points.
Elliott missed an extra point. They score 30 points. If you take away a missed extra point and Saquon doesn't just sit down at the 40-yard line to end the game.
Yeah.
That's the problem, man. So all this talk is fucking insane and nonsense to me. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say I pointed this out to you before the show as well, and it reminds me of the year that Jalen took us to the Super Bowl. Everybody remember the year Jalen took us to the Super Bowl? That game against San Fran, when Brock Purdy goes out, you have whoever it was. I don't remember who was even.
It was Josh Johnson, right?
Josh Johnson, that's his name. I knew it was Josh. I just couldn't remember the last name.
And then he got hurt. CMC was playing quarterback.
Yeah, Josh Johnson gets injured as well. Yeah. The Eagles went to a conservative play calling style, right? Like they were running the ball on third downs. I think Jalen finished that game with like less than 150 passing yards. Didn't have too many attempts, because you didn't have to take too many risks as well. And that's what I saw in this game. Whether it was Jalen like working himself back, maybe to your point, a little rusty, working himself back from the concussion, the time he missed. I thought he would come back a little bit smoother. I thought the offense would look a little bit smoother. To your point, I didn't love the play calling. So I don't know how much is Jalen changing the play at the line versus what is, called in, especially on those third down calls. But at the same time, if it is just Jalen rusty coming back from the concussion, it kind of makes sense, right? Like you don't have to take these risks when Jordan Love is throwing you the football back.
I can't wait to talk about that side of the ball.
Like you don't have to take these risks on 3rd and 19. It's not fun in the moment, and it gets on my nerves, and especially those like screens, like. Come on. Like I do agree. I would love to see more slants, more production over the middle, more stuff like what we saw Goddard score on.
I mean, dog, where's just a little slip screen?
Yeah.
Saquon, or like just the screens out to the flat and it's always Devontae as the lead blocker, bro. Like the numbers game just isn't there. They ran the first one to Saquon on a 3rd down yesterday, I believe on like the 2nd or 3rd possession. And there was 4 Packer jerseys there, and we had 1 or 2 blockers maximum. And it's just like the numbers aren't there. You have to diagnose that and realize we can't go this route.
Yeah.
Here's where I'll summarize Jalen Hurts' day yesterday. Okay. Jalen Hurts was not great. Jalen Hurts, I won't even say was very good. Jalen Hurts was fine. Jalen Hurts did what the other quarterback couldn't: protect the football. Jalen Hurts threw 2 touchdown passes. For those of you that didn't know that, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0 fumbles. Just wanted to throw that out there. I can count on 2 or 3 fingers plays I remember being frustrated with Jalen. He held on to the ball for far too long and took a sack at one point.
Yeah.
And he threw a ball to AJ's feet on a 3rd down.
Yeah.
That's what I can remember. Okay.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts in the second half of a postseason game. Yes, Martian, he was fine. Let me continue.
He was fine. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts. Hold on. Jalen Hurts in the second half again in a postseason game yesterday afternoon. 7 for 8 passing, 92 yards, a touchdown, and 154.2 quarterback rating. You know what else I know about the offense yesterday? Both possessions that the Green Bay Packers actually scored points on, the 10 total points they scored, Jalen Hurts and the offense went right down the field and got 7 and 3 right back both times the Green Bay Packers scored. It was never a one-possession game with the Packers having the ball outside of the start of the football game. That's what I know. So, I mean, Martian, we watched the same game. Like, did you watch it and think he was like some did you think Kenny Pickett could have done a better job?
He didn't throw the ball that much. I how many of the 21 attempts were screen passes, for God's sake? I think the clearest thing you can look at is look across the field at Jordan Love and what he did.
Right. Like,
that's the example of bad. That's bad. What Jalen did was fine. Like, some could even say it was solid to good. He threw 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 7 for 8 in the second half, responded with points both times the Packers scored the entire game. Tell me the other plays, right? Like, tell me he took a sack once or twice that he held the ball too long. Can't happen. He threw a ball at AJ's feet on a 3rd down. Awful throw. He was 6 for 6 to start the game. He went in the second half 7 for 8. He had 7 passes between that were incompletions.
Yeah.
So I'm disconnected from this. He was atrocious, rusty.
It was annoying. The game was annoying at times because us entitled Eagles fans felt we should just blow these Packers out by 3 scores. Like, yes, we could, like, if things were rolling in this game, if the Eagles offense was looking exactly how we wanted it to look, it might have been 27-0 in the first quarter. It might have been 21-0 in the first quarter. I do get that. But I mean, to think that, just going out here and getting a W against a very good defense, a top 10 defense in the NFL, I don't know, man. Not turning the ball over was huge in this game. And the fact that you start the game with a turnover, it now turns into situational football where you can't give that back. You got the turnover at the beginning of the game. You got the first score, and you get the ball at halftime. Mm-hmm. You're already up in your mind, right? Like, it becomes a mind game. It becomes a game of chess.
And what I'll say, man, especially if you go back, if I watch the touchdown throw to Jahan Dotson and I watch Dan Orlovsky's film breakdown of the 7 or 8 incompletions he did have, there were no moments where Jalen wasn't going through his progressions, was missing a receiver wide open. There was nothing like that in yesterday's ball game. So I just, like, to Martian's point, like, I'm not even saying he was good yesterday. He started 6 for 6. The second half, he went 7 for 8.
Yeah.
So there was a stretch from the end of the first quarter into the second quarter where they were lacking rhythm. He threw a couple incompletions and he took a sack. I don't know.
Yeah.
If the defense plays like that, yeah. Now, should you ask the defense to only give up 10 points? No. But if the defense plays like that, yeah. And if the defense isn't playing like that, Saquon's not taking a knee, and then the Eagles score 29 or 30 points. Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's all situational. There's context to it. And I don't know. Like, to Scott, like I get your point, Martian. Like, if they go into Detroit, can Jalen go through that stretch? Can the wide receivers not get open like that? No. But this whole talk of how bad he was. And I think the reason I'm more frustrated about it is I can handle the Jalen Hurts like negativity today a bit if other quarterbacks who people glaze over, not you, Martian, but nationally, got the same recognition of negativity.
Yeah.
Like, dog, Justin Herbert threw 4 interceptions in a blowout loss. And Jalen Hurts is being covered more. Jordan Love played on the same field yesterday and threw 3 interceptions in a loss.
Yeah.
And is being talked about way less than Jalen Hurts. Now I get there's clicks, and Eagles and Philly fans are going to care more than LA and Chargers fans are, and it'll get them riled up more. So let's talk about this and let's say this. I got it. Got it. But it's ridiculous. That's my only point.
It is just funny, man.
Buddy, he reads all the time. He read the game against Washington when he caught a $125 and scored a touchdown. So don't fall for that. But yeah, I agree, D-Rab. I'm fine. I'm comfortable. I'm fine. I have very little concern about this.
You know what I look at it like, and I guess I just look at the offense as a whole at this point, because to these guys' points, if we went live after the game last night, I may have agreed. I may have said the same exact things. I go back, I look at what I'm seeing other people that watch the All 22 report that they see. I'm not sitting here saying I watched the All 22. Nope. I didn't do that. I went to somebody that does watch it, and they gave their elaboration of what they saw. They said guys weren't getting open, and Jalen held the ball a little too long on some of those plays, right, where he gets sacked. I think he got sacked twice yesterday. Right. At the end of the day, man, the offense didn't perform well, and we still won by 2 scores. Like, that gives me confidence moving forward. Not the opposite.
Nowhere near their A game. And they won a playoff game by 12 points against a team that a lot of people thought had a realistic chance of going in to win that game. So I do want to pivot from the Jalen conversation.
I saw a Packers fan say they were going to score 48 points.
Sure did.
They said that, man. 48?
I will say this. Okay. The Green Bay Packers defense is a lot tougher and a lot better than I initially gave them credit for, right? Even though they should have given up 30 points, they were still played physical. They did get in the backfield. They did blow up a couple runs a couple times. The receivers weren't getting open. That is credit to them. It's credit to their game plan, their coordinator. They were very good yesterday. They kept their team in the game for a long portion of this ball game, okay? But I told you who Jordan Love was. And people didn't want to listen, Scotty. Did people want to listen? Because I told you couldn't.
He is who they think Jalen is. He is who they think Jalen is.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. 1,000%.
Jalen just wins games. This guy.
I mean, Jordan Love's not a bum, but in the heat of the moment, as I'm watching him turn the ball over time and time again, seeing ghosts, I'm screaming, "You bum!" Like, just the Zach Bond interception, no idea. Underthrowing his receiver to where Slay could run the route, and Slay, that was great coverage, a great play by Darius Slay. Yeah. Picks him off. Scotty, they wanted PI in the end zone on the Quinyon.
Oh, my God.
As if the ball wasn't thrown 5 yards short towards the front of the end zone, picked off by someone else. They wanted PI on that one. 3 interceptions for Jordan Love. What did he end up finishing with? Was he under 200 or 212? No. 20 of 33, 212, no passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Obviously, you had the special teams turnover to start the game, so the Eagles caused 4 turnovers in total in this one. Am I going to say I expected the Eagles to only give up 10 points? Absolutely not. But it went close to what I thought. The lack of weapons. And now, granted, I wasn't expecting them to have me, you, D-Rab, and Martian running routes for them at the end of the game because they kept just piling up injuries. But they came into this game with just missing Christian Watson. But people still told me that Jaden Reed and Romeo Dobbs and Dotavian Wicks and Tucker Kraft, they could come in here and they are explosive. They told me Jordan Love only had 1 turnover in his last 400-plus pass attempts. That's what they said. He's the best against the blitz. Nolan Smith had him seeing fucking ghost, brother. He got beat up. The Packers got beat up, literally, and this offense could do nothing. The Philadelphia Eagles, you want to talk about our offense being stagnant for a bit, 1,000%. It felt like at moments, man, you cannot let this team hang around. If this was a one-possession game at halftime, you could not be feeling great as an Eagles fan heading into halftime if this game was 10-3, 10-7, because you had so many opportunities to bury them, and you didn't. And he just keeps giving you the ball. And Scotty, man, did it ever feel like the game was at risk? Like, I know that Jacobs' touchdown after the Elliott missed PAT, it was 16-10. If Green Bay could just get a stop. Oh, no. Never fucking close, dude.
Yeah.
Never close.
It was interesting. Just seeing how that played out. The defense, to your point, man. It was very fun to watch this defense move around. Nolan Smith, he's got some room to really move up the list here in this postseason. Keep playing Nolan like Smith that.
Was a dog yesterday.
Playing with that type of physicality. Nakobe Dean, that one hurts. Definitely gonna miss him. I don't know what I guess you go Oren Burks, Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
We'll lick our wounds about that one tonight and move on to that later in the week. But that stings, dude.
That one hurts. But the defense still put up a great fight, and I do expect them to kind of next man up the situation. Definitely just kind of feel more. I kind of feel worse for Nakobe, if that makes sense.
Than the Eagles?
Yeah. Not to say he's not going to be missed by the Eagles defense. It's not to say that. He's just been through a lot of injury trouble already, man. And he's obviously a good player, great leader. And he just doesn't deserve that, I guess, is the way I look at it. But the defense as a whole, man, it was just so impressive to see these guys step up and answer the call. Zach Bond answer the call, show up in this game. You talk about the turnovers, man. It's so huge in the postseason. We know how big turnovers can be. And I think it just speaks more once again to taking care of the ball on your side of things and how important that's going to be down the stretch, because if you can just get half of what they got turnover wise in this game in the next two or so, you're going to have a good chance in going the whole way and winning the whole thing. So this defense, man, like how good are they? It's honestly wild to think about.
Remember when they lost to the Commanders and our defense stunk? Remember we had so many questions. Yeah. What? It's crazy. It's crazy. And I got Martian was nervous. Craig was nervous when it was 16-10. And who eased your nerves, fellas? Number one went right down the field and put those points right back on the field each time the Packers scored.
Oh, man.
I'm going to throw that out there for you.
TR, we are not.
Yeah. How about that Eagles defense, brother?
That's what we're talking about.
It's electric. And it's a difference maker, 1,000%, compared to the last two Super Bowls we've been to, compared to, when you want to talk floor and ceiling for this team, because I think you saw yesterday the prime example. We said it, like, this offense played nowhere near A or A+ football yesterday as a whole. And that's just not going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
Like, if the LA Rams win tonight and have to come to the link, are the LA Rams going to defend A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley? Well, not really Saquon Barkley, but kind of like the Green Bay Packers did yesterday? No.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. No.
And can we shout out? I know we shouted out the play earlier, but I think I was kind of discounting it as we were going down the stretch. We were seeing Grant Calcaterra make a few plays here and there. It's good to have Dallas back. Dallas Goedert, that is.
Yeah,
it's good to have him back.
Yeah, man. But that's the point, right? Like, no, it is, because whether it was they couldn't get open or whether it was just being taken advantage of in a couple different scenarios, you can't cover all of them, even on a day where they're not moving the ball and sustaining drives like we have seen throughout the regular season. You can't cover All of them. There is a mismatch somewhere, and that poor fella. I don't remember that was Ballantyne. That poor fella
went for a ride.
Got mugged from the 20 to the goal line because you're just put in bad situations against this offense.
He really did. That is exactly.
Oh, he did. Scotty, he got to the 10-yard line and wasn't even looking at the end zone. He was looking back at him, basically saying, like, come here.
Like, come on, you want more? And Valentine's like, no, just score, man.
Yeah, go ahead, walk in, Dallas.
So, yeah. Nice to have him back, man.
But to TR's point, where was it? Yeah, it hurts. It definitely hurts, especially because when you're talking about the backup potentially being and a special teams guy like Oren Burks or a rookie who might be next in line and Trotter Jr., who it's going to be Oren Burks, I would suspect, just like he got plugged in last game. But like to Scotty's point, like, all right, let me ask you guys this. When Slay and Dean went out, who were you more concerned with? And I know as a player this year, we get frustrated with Slay, but would you rather have Rodgers stepping in and filling in for Slay on this postseason run, or would you rather have Dean out for the postseason run? And my point is, if that's a question, then it's, they can be okay without it.
Yeah, that's fair. And I do think they can be okay without it just because of the way Zach Bond has stepped up, the rest of this defense. You do got safeties back there that can help out in other areas of the defense as well. So yeah, they're going to have to get creative. I think Vic Fangio is going to have to get creative. You might want to bring in some type of insurance. I saw something floated out around like Quan Alexander. He's on like the Lions practice squad. I don't think you bring anybody in to start, but maybe just bring in some depth because like you said, Oren Burks, he's the guy out there laying the wood on the kickoff. So how does him playing full-time on defense impact the special teams and the play there? And then, of course, obviously, you're just going to have a talent gap between him and Nakobe Dean. But hopefully, now that we get out of the live game, him having to step in live game, you get to make adjustments. He gets a full week practicing in the role. You have to expect it'll be at least a little bit better. So yeah, I think this defense can cover it up a little bit.
Agreed.
To say the least.
Like I was starting to say, but this defense is the difference maker, man. Because when you have that much talent offensively, you're just not going to be able to continue to contain this Eagles offense and frustrate them like that. And if this defense is playing anywhere near this level, like 20 less points against opponents, man, turning people over, good luck is all I can really say.
Yeah. I think that's the way to put it. If we get to a point in this postseason where this defense is playing like this and we lose a football game, then we can have a conversation about why that happened and how did we get to that point.
Right.
I think that is fair. But I think when you're coming away with a double-digit victory, 2-possession victory, it's once again just a little asinine. I think it's just a little asinine. It's a little arrogant. It's a little entitled. I think it's a little bit of it,
bro. Like honestly, man. Like they could win the Super Bowl 13-10, and people might be at the parade complaining about how Jalen looked.
Did AJ get his book out?
I'm almost being serious. Like it is a win or go home. And they didn't just skate by the Green Bay Packers in this horrible offensive performance people are looking at.
Yeah.
They kicked the shit out of the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Held them to 10 points. Could have scored 29 or 30 if they just don't go down.
Yeah.
So they won. They covered. The defense was phenomenal. The special teams set the tone. Saquon went for what? $110, $120, or $110, whatever, rushing. Goddard had a play of the year touchdown. I don't have complaints, man. Like I'm happy to be playing next weekend. And for me, I've seen enough throughout this regular season that I'm confident the offense is okay. Just like the Pittsburgh game after Carolina, when everyone was freaking the fuck out about the passing game. And then Jalen plays his best game against the Steelers defense at home and torches them the next week. That's where I'm at right now. So whether it's the Rams or the Vikings after tonight's game, I've been talking Super Bowl, brother.
Martian, it's the goal, dog. Like,
the only thing on the mind, man. And how do you get to that goal, Martian? You just win football games right now.
Aren't we happy the Commanders did us a little bit of a solid as well last night? We don't have to see the Bucs. Everybody was so scared. Todd Bowles and the Bucs.
Right, but now they'll find a way to be scared of the Vikings or the Rams will come here, and all of a sudden everyone will forget about that game in SoFi a few weeks ago. They'll just look at Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua coming to town and shit their pants somehow. And I think to Craig's point as well, man, like me and Scotty were one of the, like, that should tell you all you need to know. Yeah. I didn't win a bet on the Eagles. I should have laid the spread. I don't know why I didn't, but I laid props. I laid team total. I laid different things, right? Just staying away from possibly a close game, whatever. I lost all my bets. Scotty lost all his bets. We lost money because of the passing game and things like that. Yeah. And we're not crying.
I was after the game. I was after the game a little bit.
Yeah,
I was still happy.
But I mean, there was a lot of food consumed and your emotions are running high. Yeah. It's like, man, it's like when you're fighting.
Saquon.
It's like when you're fighting with your girl and you're drunk and it's just like, dude, just go to bed. Just sleep it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you say something you don't mean.
Exactly. Take it too far.
And then you go to bed and you wake up and you're like, why were we fighting? It's stupid. And that's what yesterday was. You could have said some things in a microphone last night about this passing attack and the money you lost and, you know, that they can't win playing like that. And then it's like you go to sleep and it's like, maybe it wasn't all as it seemed. Because again, we're watching from television, guys. So when all you like former quarterbacks think you can see the field and know what's open and what's not, it was broken down for you this morning.
How many of these guys are former quarterbacks? I would love to know. I would love to know. It would give some perspective, though. None in the NFL, obviously, but like former quarterbacks.
Hold on.
Just in general.
Flag on this play. Did I not rip into Joel Embiid like 2 weeks ago? And I'm out on Joel Embiid and the Sixers right now. I'm out. I'm not getting into that conversation, but I'm out. I'm out.
You know, I don't know. I guess
Martian, I don't have complaints with winning.
The greatest talents, man. I really watch. I don't take things too far, I guess, is what I try not to do. But
yes, because man, to me, you can't take those things back. Like, I get it's part of being a fan and everything. Well, when you come out and your emotions get the best of you and you say something like when you come out and say this dude stinks or put in Tanner McKee or Kenny Pickett, I don't want to hear from you if Jalen's balling out in the NFC Championship game because your opinion doesn't mean much to me then. You can have frustrations with how it looked without taking it too far. And I'm not talking about you right now, Marsh. I'm just saying in general. People do
Sean McCoy.
Yeah.
There's an all-time great Philadelphia Eagles that we honored.
I don't want to see you waving that big ass Eagles flag on that Fox show you have if they win next weekend.
Exactly. That's what bothers me. Say that shit to Jalen's face in the locker room when you be glazing them all up.
Wasn't Shady there yesterday in a suite?
I swear, bro. I swear he'd be in there glazing them up. Deshaun Jackson was there, so I don't know if he was in the hype video. You don't get to question the quarterback's effort.
Right. Because you didn't talk about his game, bro. You didn't talk about his game.
I lost a lot of respect for Shady for that, man. I lost a lot of respect.
I'm wondering, like, what you watched yesterday that made you question Jalen Hurts'
effort.
I watched Jalen Hurts get thrown, like, run into two defenders and get thrown back on his head after a first down run. That's what I saw.
I thought he might be concussed again. I was worried about that, but man, I don't know, man. I guess the thing is, it just, I want to celebrate the victory Monday. Jalen is a part of that. He's part of the W.
Correct. Because all I care about right now is winning football games, man. They could win every game 9-6 the rest of the way, and I won't give a fuck. Go win football games. God.
Let me ask you this. Do you think, regardless of the opponent, do you think we see a little bit more aggressive approach from offense, or how do you feel?
I got to be honest, bro. I think you saw too much of an aggressive approach from the offense yesterday. It's just shit wasn't open as much.
Yeah.
I think my beef with the offense, when I say aggressive, because I know Saquon had over 20 carries, Jalen threw in the low 20s. He had a couple sacks. So it's not like they threw the ball 35 times. To me, my biggest gripe with the offense last night, man, is the inconsistency with the rhythm of play calling. Like, they forgot about Saquon for about 2 possessions in a row. And then they come out on 1st and 10, they run the ball, he picks up 5. And then they come out on 2nd and 5, he runs the ball, and he picks up a first down. Great. Everyone and their mother knew another run was coming on 1st and 10, and the Packers blew it up for a loss of 2. Now, I get you can call that hindsight. You can call that Monday morning quarterbacking. I don't need to see 5 straight dropbacks, 4 straight runs. Let me get a 1st and 10 run, maybe a 2nd and 6 or a 2nd and 6 run, a 3rd and 3 pass, a 1st and 10 pass, a 2nd and 6 run. Like, get some fucking rhythm and continuity to this play calling, because I can't have you forgetting about Saquon for 2 possessions and then going run, and being surprised when the Packers pick up on it after 2 or 3 straight runs.
Yeah.
Mix play action into there. I know you're smart enough to do it. I've seen it all year long. So that's the only thing I said, man. But Craig, I'll sleep like a fucking baby if they win every game 9-6.
I am curious, man, and I am, like, once again, not to just harp on the offense too much here, but we glazed up the defense a little bit. We can talk about it, man. When I look at this offense, man, the play calling, I just have to wonder, because I sit here and watch other teams week to week. They're able to get their number 1 wide receiver the ball. They're able to get them the ball. Like, no matter how they do it, whatever they do, whether it's crossing patterns, slants, screens out there in the slot, whatever it is, Justin Jefferson's going to get his targets. He's going to get the ball. And Nico Collins, right? Like Ladd McConkey. Like, these guys get the ball. They don't even have the talent that we have around them. But for some reason, we can't do that with AJ. Now, I know a lot of it could be maybe you just don't want to focus on one guy too much because of how much talent you have around him, right? But I do. That is the one, like, if you want to say a negative, that I do come out of the game with. Like, all the antics aside, I'm not harping on what AJ's doing on the sidelines. I don't care about any of that shit. It's more about on the field and honestly getting him the ball. I do wonder what that is. Like, where do we come out of this game and then we look back and it's like, oh shit, AJ only had 1 catch. You know what I mean? Like that just can't happen.
And it was in the first quarter, I believe, too. He was like on his knees coming back, and
it was an excellent catch.
It was a great catch, but no, it's definitely head scratching. The only like rebuttal I have, and it shouldn't happen like ever. I don't care who you have on your team as well. It's AJ Brown needs to get the ball. AJ Brown gets the ball, good things happen.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like Ladd McConkey doesn't have Saquon Barkley and Devontae Smith around him as well. And Nico Collins, he has Joe Mixon, but that's it, right? So that's the only rebuttal. But still, you would think 1 catch for 10 yards isn't in the description of a box score when AJ Brown's on your team. Yeah. But it's all I can say is it's been a theme since he's been here with him and Smitty. There's games where one of them don't really see the ball, and then the next game he'll have 15 targets. You can argue balance, you can question why and how that gets you there. But again, to Jose's point, won the game by 12. So I really don't care if AJ Brown didn't have a target yesterday. At this point.
Can I tell you the baseline of my belief? And I truly believe that it's probably your baseline as well. And I think it's why we do come out of the game with so much confidence. Because I don't want to say like I have more confidence than what I had, because I was already confident they can go to the Super Bowl and win it. Like, they are that good. They are contenders, legitimately. They might be the best team in the NFL. In Martian's words, when you line that shit up, I don't think anybody can stop them. Like, I don't think it honestly matters too much.
I think they're too physical.
I think they'll run the football when the fuck they want to. I think that's what we're looking at.
But here's the thing, like, to Craig's point, like, it did cut it, Craig. Like, they won by 12.
Weirdly enough.
It did, in fact, cut it against an 11-win football team.
It's weird, for sure.
That talented, and the defense is that good. Again, can Jalen throw for 140 and AJ have 10 yards in a Super Bowl and we win the game? I don't know. Games have different styles, different things happen throughout the course. But when your special teams opens up with a fumble and then Jahan Dotson catches a touchdown to immediately go up 7-0, course changes. And like, to your point, man, the style that Nick Sirianni plays, like, I don't know if you saw the clip of like Saquon. First of all, it's a great clip of Smitty and AJ saying, like, get your ass over here. I did see that. But I think he's talking to Nick when Saquon comes over and he said, "You said no mas."
Yeah.
It's Nick's style. They don't run the score up.
Yeah.
They run the ball. The clock's your friend. The stats aren't crazy.
You keep your defense from having to step back on the field, man. Risk further injury. Like, it is smart. It's annoying, definitely, especially as a bettor.
Agreed.
But it is smart,
to your point, Scotty, man, between those white lines,
yeah,
they're too talented. They're too physical. They're too strong.
Yeah.
They're bought in, man. Like, this locker room, remember how last year ended? Remember that question marks around the culture and the head coach and that's gone. They are bought in, dude. And they bully you. They weigh on you until the second half. It's body blow. And it didn't exactly play out the way we've seen. Like, it did. This wasn't the Washington game on Thursday Night Football where Saquon has 2 20-yard touchdown runs in the second half to blow them out. This isn't the Rams game or anything like that. This was a different style, and they controlled the game from start to finish.
You know what it is? It's that Panthers game, isn't it? It's that Panthers game right before the Steelers game where Jalen Hurts had to answer questions against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. We're right back here again, but we're in the postseason. But it's fine, honestly. It is all fine. Because I think a lot of what goes into this team's mental makeup, a lot of that anger, that aggressiveness that comes out of this unit that allows them to play so physical, I think they do hear the outside noise. I think they listen to all of that shit. And I think Lane Johnson literally posted on his locker, like, they do. They pay attention to all of that shit. Some people think it's wrong. Some people think it's right. It doesn't matter. It's whatever motivates them, man. And just go ahead, keep talking shit. Keep talking shit on Jalen. Maybe we'll get Pittsburgh Steelers Jalen.
It's wild, bro. Because it's just wild to me because he's the only quarterback right now dealing with that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And maybe it's being talked about in production meetings and after games. And hey, how can we get the most attention and the most views and the most clicks and rile the craziest fan? Like, who do we target, right? Are Steelers fans going to care more? Are Chargers fans going to care more? Or do we go at this? But it's like, man, I want you to just cover the game. Like, just do your job. And Justin, I haven't seen a clip about Justin Herbert since Saturday.
It is interesting.
I've seen one clip of Jordan Love, and that was Rex Ryan, like you said to me before, handling him with kid gloves.
Yeah.
He's got elite talent, but he's not an elite quarterback.
He's not elite yet.
That's what you took away between the two quarterbacks that played on that field. That's what you took away. Yeah, Martian, tell me the other quarterback that gets handled like Jalen Hurts gets handled. Tell me the other one.
Maybe Lamar. Maybe. No, though. And to Lamar's point, he is MVP year in, year out.
Oh, yeah.
But he still hears it. He does still hear it. He might be the one exception. Yeah. Josh Allen, you can't beat Mahomes. That's what they get. That's their slander. Right. You can't beat Mahomes.
That goes on Jalen's back as well. But no one can beat Mahomes, to be fair, right now. But
moving forward, man, who are we looking at tonight? We got the Commanders made this big game for us tonight.
Yeah.
Are you rooting for anyone?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm going to figure out where I want to put my money on. Opponent. I'll say this, man, right? Maybe we should handle this like the devil you know. We've played the Rams this year. We flew across the country and kicked the dog shit out of them. Yeah. Saquon Barkley went for over 300 total scrimmage yards. I know that devil. The Sam Darnold's led team, Brian Flores' team, the defense, I don't know that devil. So I guess you could argue, hey, we've seen what we did to the Rams. We know we can do that. Let's run it back. But at the end of the day, man, I don't care who it is in this matchup. It's either a Rams defense coming to town or it's Sam Darnold coming to town. And I will take whatever one of those.
Fair enough.
You get. Yeah, Martian, my point is I'm talking about relevant quarterbacks.
Yeah, like actual good
quarterbacks. Like quarterbacks that are playing now that like are doing good shit, but still being handled worse than the guys who are actually playing bad. Like Purdy's not playing right now. Lawrence isn't playing right now because his team stinks. Caleb, rookie, not playing right now.
Lawrence sucks.
Yeah. So, like, yeah. But yeah, do you have a rooting interest? Do you have a rooting interest tonight or no?
Part of me does want the Rams just for Pastor Rams.
That's true.
Like if we could somehow magically get the Commanders to beat the Lions and them come to the link for NFC Championship and knock out both of Pastor Rams teams in the postseason, like in the same stretch, that would be pretty amazing. But in reality, no, man. We got history against both of these teams ultimately. To your point, beating the Rams earlier this season, the Vikings. I think the thing with that defense and how good they've been this year, they are good. They're a good unit.
Yeah.
We've seen good Vikings defensive units come to the link for important games.
For sure.
We've seen what that looks like. The Vikings, same thing, Sam Darnold. That would be lucky you, Pastor Rams.
I know there's a little bit of a troll in that comment, but there's probably some truth for it. I will say this, like, obviously I know he wants his team to win and continue to play football, but don't tune into the show this week if the Rams win tonight. I'm going to handle the Rams preview way worse than the Packers preview. If you thought I gave the Packers little to no credit to beat the Eagles, you have a negative % chance.
Like the LA Rams coming into the cold.
Of the Rams coming here.
Like, coming into the cold.
Yeah, like if you want head-to-head, if you want eye test, if you want numbers, whatever you want, like
let them get the W.
I don't know. I can hold on. Let me pull up a quick note real quick. I'll give you the only note I need for this preview this week. That note would be 37-20, 26 carries for 255 yards and 270-yard rushing touchdowns. That's the only notes I need to talk about this Rams matchup. Because if you couldn't hold our jock in LA, you ain't coming here in January and stopping us.
Yeah.
So
handle your business tonight, though.
Yeah.
Beat the Vikings. Beat Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I'm probably rooting for the Rams tonight with you, Pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because
I like the easier road to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, like why not? Yeah, we've seen this path before, right?
And then let me tell you, if we somehow get the Commanders in the NFC Championship,
my God,
don't tune into the show because I will be as disrespectful as I can possibly be.
The Commanders fans. Oh my God. They can't, man. They can't. But yeah, you want to talk about a cakewalk to the Super Bowl.
The score at the end of the third was 27-14. So you were down 2 touchdowns. I don't know what point that was making. I love you, Pastor Rez, but I don't know what point that was trying to bring to the table. You're down 13 heading into the fourth quarter at home. But yeah, man. I don't know.
Should be fun, man.
I don't know. I think here's what I'll say about this matchup tonight. At one point, I could have argued offense versus defense. I could have said, all right, well, the Rams defense is the Rams defense, and Brian Flores has been confusing quarterbacks all year. And then you have, Stafford and Puka and that offense and Cooper Kupp versus Sam Darnold and Addison. The thing over the last couple of weeks is, man, like Addison's become a guy, and they're still running the ball, and Darnold's protecting the ball. So that offense is as high flying as well. The last time we seen the Vikings play their most meaningful game, they shit their pants. That's all I really know about them. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't really have any rooting interest, but I guess I'll just watch it. I'll try to find something to bet on, but don't know. I got burned last night with the over in that game. I don't think I want to bet yesterday, if I'm being honest with you.
Wow. I did all right in the Commanders game, man, but I was heated after the Eagles. I laid Baker and Daniels for 2 passing touchdowns each. That hit. And then I laid Mike Evans touchdown and his over in yards, and that hit. The only thing that didn't hit was Jaden Daniels. I laid him for a rushing touchdown. That didn't hit. But tonight, I'm looking at I was actually looking at a similar bet that I did last night with Stafford and Darnold with the 2 passing touchdowns. But Aaron Jones, anytime touchdown is plus money, and
is it?
I think I like that.
Interesting. Until they end up giving Cam Akers the fucking ball against.
That is. I wonder if that is playing a role into it. I did see it laid on covers, so I won't take credit for the for the juice pick, but it's on covers.com as well as a recommended pick, but. Aaron Jones, man, he has ran tough for the Vikings. I feel like they could lean on him in the red zone, especially with the way Darnold played last week, right? So I think it's worth a shot at plus money, man. But obviously, Kyron Williams, you're never going to get decent odds for that. It's hard with these receivers, too. You know what I mean? Like, you got 4 elite receivers in this game. And then Hawkinson, too. Throw guys like Hawkinson and Higbee in the mix.
Also, there were some weird touchdown scores yesterday, man.
Dotson?
The first touchdown score of all 3 games yesterday.
Troy Franklin.
I saw a $10 parlay would have won you like $700,000. It was Jahan Dotson, obviously, in the Eagles game. Who was the dude that scored in the Denver game off the 47-yarder?
It was Troy Franklin.
Troy Franklin, and then let's see. Oh, De'Ami Brown. Those were the 3 wide receivers that scored yesterday. So, is there a weird wide receiver that finds the end zone tonight?
I will say there's one that comes to mind, and Pastor Rems, if he's still out there, he would have to correct me if I'm wrong here.
Demarcus Robinson?
Demarcus Robinson is the first one. Kind of like, if you wanted to mention like off-brand receivers, basically.
Can I introduce you to Tutu Atwell?
Tutu Atwell, not a bad pick as well.
Plus 800 to find the end zone tonight.
It's interesting.
Ronnie Rivers.
One of those games.
Ronnie Rivers, Kobe Parkinson.
Ronnie Rivers.
Pastor
who's the other guy?
What can you tell me about? What can you tell me about Jordan Whittington, Pastor Rems? Because I am intrigued. CJ Ham for the Vikings plus 2,200. Trent Sherfield.
What's Naylor at?
Naylor, hardly know her.
Grow up.
He's not even listed, bro.
Interesting. Really? Is he injured?
DraftKings don't know her either.
Jalen Naylor?
He ain't here.
Interesting.
It's not him.
He had 6 tutties this season for Minnesota.
No, I'm lying to you. He's here. A lot
Zodger.
better odds than I would have thought. Plus 500. 550. He was up in the middle of the pack. He's amazing when he has the ball. Okay. Well, does Jordan Whittington not get the ball too much for you guys?
I imagine not. Because it feels like every time I bet anybody but Puka Nacua on the Rams, it turns into the Puka show.
Puka Nacua show, yeah.
Yeah, I swear every time I bet on anyone outside, and when I bet on Puka, he does not do the Puka show.
This guy's first name is my last name, Davis Allen. Plus 11 hundo.
Davis Allen.
Lock it in.
What's he about?
Kid's getting in. Yeah, let me know what he's about, Pastor.
Shout out to Martian. He gets it. Martian gets it.
Martian's like, can these guys shut the fuck up about the Rams touchdown scores?
Right. Get back to Philly talk. It's Victory Monday, man. Just soak it in.
You know what'll happen, right? These dudes I'm like listing right now. All right, well, you know what? I got a beef with DraftKings then. What the fuck is the third string tight end doing listed as odds? What are we doing here? Because some poor fucker is just going to place that bet, and he won't even see action. But you know what's going to happen, though, right? All these names I'm throwing out there, they won't score tonight. You could throw money on each and every one of them. They won't score tonight. Whoever the Eagles get, take it to the bank. Then one of these weird names finds the end zone one time next week.
Jalen Naylor. Trent Sherfield. That'll be one.
Definitely getting in.
That'll be one. Man.
Throw my life savings on Tutu Atwell plus 8 hundo. All right.
Got to feel something.
Enough tomfoolery.
It's hard to eclipse victory. Victory Monday, the feelings of that first playoff W. You got to go out there and try to feel something.
Not many people get to experience it, Pastor. So I hope we can rejoice with you later on in the week.
Yeah.
We can learn what this feeling is like.
Warren knows. He watched that Packers game yesterday. He saw what they walked into. Man got knocked stone cold. He got knocked out stone cold on the first play. He said, they were targeting. Dude went on an interview after the game and said, it should have been targeting.
Yeah, pick your jock up, brother. God.
Go Birds!
Go Birds! You guys
want
to I'm just kidding.
No.
Let me get out of here. All right, guys, if you are new to the channel, there's about 30 of you in here today. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you see us on Twitter, it's at DSM_Media. Follow, check out the link tree in our bio. The link is on there. Subscribe, like, share, whatever you got to do. Help yourself out. Help us out. Go Birds. For myself, for Scotty, we'll be live later on in the week breaking down whoever the Eagles line it up against after tonight's game. And we'll be previewing that a bunch. And that's probably the only team we're going to be discussing this week. So if you're not a fan, see you guys in a few weeks.
Until the NFL playoffs are over, we might have to, we might have to diverge attention away.
Dude, Flyers look great.
They're getting a new arena.
Yeah, them and the Sixers. Well, we can talk about that. Peace out, everybody.
Peace. Go Birds, man.